Hello everybody, MegaZardX here, back at it again to give y'all another very exciting video. And yes, we just recently came off that most recent Nintendo Direct that happened literally a couple of days ago. And man, oh man, oh man, I have a lot of things to say and go and talk about that Nintendo Direct though. I do have my reaction over there on the channel though, so you can probably see a card over there popping up in the corner or something like that. You can check that out as soon as you're done watching this one though. But golly, honestly, there was a lot of stuff packed up into this show. I feel like there's a little bit of something for everybody in here, especially if you're an RPG lover like myself. There was a lot of stuff to go ahead and take, go ahead and take to heart. And I was like, what the actual heck? And Nintendo with the stealth drops, all of this stuff. I was like, what the actual heck? And the way how they ended that direct, oh man, I was flabbergasted by the end of it. I thought this was honestly one of their most best Nintendo Directs though. But if you hadn't already done so, make sure you go and hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell. Stay up to date on all things video game related I feel like talking about and discussing. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight up into this video.
Rivers of destruction, here on my command. Rivers of destruction, again and again. Rivers of destruction, here on my command. Rivers of destruction, again and again.
So to kick things off, we start off the presentation with Pikmin 4. Now, with Pikmin 4, at least the way how they kind of been showcasing off that game, and this being the first gameplay footage we managed to get for this game, honestly, I always love the Pikmin series because they usually can show off how graphically good can they actually showcase off this game in particular with this series on whatever console that it happens to be in. You know, we saw with Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 2 on the GameCube / Wii-ish, and then also Pikmin 3 on the Wii U and by extension 3 Deluxe on the Nintendo Switch though. But this one I was like, okay, the environment's really nice. It's interesting with the camera angle that they're doing with this one though. It's kind of more up close and personal compared to the the Skybird view that we're kind of used to accustomed with Pikmin games. So that's really interesting. They have like a new buddy along the way that kind of helps assist you with your captures and like how you have to defeat certain enemies, take them back to your base, respawn more Pikmin and whatnot though. They added different variety with Pikmin, such as like that ice Pikmin and stuff like that. So honestly, the game's looking really cool. It does come out fairly soon. It does come out in the month of July, so we don't have to wait at least too much longer on that one though. So I was like, honestly, that was a pretty good way to kick off the direct. It was a game I was kind of expecting, so I was like, all right, that was pretty nice. Next up on the list, we had Xenoblade Chronicles 3 expansion pass showcased off to us though, and then obviously we got the inclusion of another hero quest that we're gonna have access to within the DLC. So I was like, okay, nothing crazy. They're gonna give you like some different outfits and stuff like that. I was like, all right, I was kind of expecting all that though, but what I wasn't really expecting was the first little bit of a tease to what we're gonna be getting within the story content for Xenoblade Chronicles 3, because then they managed to go ahead and showcase off that yes, it seems like everybody's coming back. We're gonna have over there with Rex over there along with Shulk, and then also with Noah. All three of them, seems like some time has gone by for each one of those three respectively though. And then we had our little mystery person over there who showed his face until all the way back until like Xenoblade Chronicles 1. I was like, what the actual freak? I was like, man, I'm bringing back this dude right here. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to say too much. Maybe for those that might not have necessarily played through some of those previous games. If you hadn't, make sure you do so, because man, there's a lot of stuff they're going to be breaking down within this DLC. I'm really looking forward to this one though. But yes, so we know that that's going to be coming out in Wave 4 though, but Wave 3 is literally right around the corner. Next up on the list, we had Samba de Amigo Party Central. I mean, I'm not too much of like a party kind of centric kind of guy myself though, but it is kind of interesting how you're going to be able to use the Joy-Cons or whatever and shake those like marambas and marachas and all of that stuff to get a little jiggy with it or whatnot though. So yeah, if you happen to like that, maybe if you're a fan of rhythm games or something like that, maybe this game will actually be able to speak to you a little bit more. So yeah, we had that one. Next up, we had Fashion Dreamer, which honestly, I'm not too much of a fashion person myself, but I can see, certain kind of people, they're all about fashion and whatnot though. So maybe this game will actually be able to speak to those that like really love fashion and whatnot though. But we do have that. Then they kind of went over there on the dark side of things, and more like a little in the literal sense though, because we managed to get the announcement for Dead Cell's return to Castlevania DLC. It was something that was actually shown a little bit before, where we got it in the it was back in the the Game Awards where they actually showed it for the very first time. But now we managed to get the DLC, got another second look at it and whatnot though. And honestly, this one looks really clean. I was like, it's been a while since I played Dead Cells. I actually own it for myself though. But that DLC, I always love myself some Castlevania or just Metroidvania kind of related stuff in general though. I don't know. It's just something about seeing all of that art and just, you know, the Dead Cell character running through it and whatnot though, and then you got like the different musical tracks as well, and then the villains and stuff like that. I was like, it looked pretty promising if I had to do say so myself though. So yeah, literally right around the corner from that one dropping out though. So that was really nice right there. Next up, we had Tron Identity. I can't honestly say too much about the Tron game or whatnot though. I feel like it's been a while maybe since we had a Tron game or whatnot though. But if you're a fan of Tron, we had that game coming out here fairly soon. Then they had like Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, which I was like, okay. I was like, oh, that one was kind of interesting in the fact that how you can kind of possess things after you're dead to be able to kind of control things to help kind of tip some things out in your favor though. Don't have too much to say on that though, but hey, it's there for people to kind of dive up in it though. And then this next one though, Deca Police. I was looking at this one and I was like, what in the world? I was like, I certainly was not expecting something like that to be showcased off in this Nintendo Direct. Because honestly, the game looks really kind of clean. If I had to do say so myself, I might have to actually honestly keep my eyes out on this game because it looks really stylish and whatnot though. And I don't know, maybe the combat's what maybe I'll have a little bit of questions on though. But I'm like, other than that, its presentation looks pretty sleek if I had to do say so myself though. So yeah, so we have that game coming out here fairly soon though, Deca Police though. That's one I might have to honestly kind of keep my eye out on though. But but beyond that, we just know the release date to be coming out some point in the year of 2023. After that, we got another look at Bayonetta Origins. And with this one, obviously, we saw it back within the Game Awards once again. And they just gave us another look at it, though. It's coming out right around the corner. And honestly, it's going to be interesting seeing how fans are going to be able to retrieve this game, because it's not like in the same regular sense as like your traditional Bayonetta games with that high-paced action. I already seen some people have been kind of put off, but then it kind of welcomes other people. So I don't know. It's going to be like a little mixed bag of sorts, though. But it'll be interesting to see how that game actually turns out. So next up on the list, we jumping back into DLC once again because Splatoon 3 managed to get an expansion pass for it as well, which honestly I was kind of shocked and surprised. I honestly thought we were going to get just some kind of new maps kind of showcased off, maybe some new weapons as well to kind of go along with that. But no, it wasn't that traditional seasonal update, which we'll kind of get here fairly soon in the month of March though. But they actually went ahead and started talking about the paid DLC. I already did some research and digging on this. It is going to cost about $25 just to get the DLC itself, $5 more than what the Octo expansion was though. But within this DLC, you're going to get two ways. Number one, they're bringing us back to Inkopolis, baby. Yes, from the original Splatoon 1. It is back, and we're actually able to go to there. You can see Splatfest done by Callie and Marie if you kind of want to throw it back old school, see how it kind of looked like over there. You can go and visit those other different shops and stuff, visit those old residents from Inkopolis, along with a few extra new people there as well though. So this is more like a visual kind of change. It doesn't seem like you might get like exclusive stuff from being able to visit the shops, or at least from what I could tell at surface level whatnot though. So honestly, it's really cool. And then the second wave obviously being the big expansion within the single player campaign. It'll be a brand new one focusing around Pearl and Marina. Interestingly enough, that Splatfest we did, the end with Splatoon 2, remember how we did Chaos versus Order, Chaos 1. Chaos is like the main theme of Splatoon 3, but then we still get an Order in the form of the paid DLC, and I still kind of like that. So we still managed to win Team Order. We still managed to win though. Honestly, it's got some really cool stuff. And in terms of the paid DLC for the Wave 2, that's going to be a little bit later though, but Wave 1 is going to be kind of right around the corner here fairly soon though. So yeah, so honestly, some really good stuff right there. Next up, you have Disney Illusion Island, which that one, it's weird because I was looking at it, it seemed like it might be a nice platformer, maybe for like younger audiences or whatnot though. But then when you look at it, it's like, dang, why those characters are so small moving through those environments, which are like really big. It's either make the characters bigger or make those environments smaller. I don't know. I was like, I don't know. It's something with the scale of that game I don't know, that might have been the most off-putting thing, at least what I kind of saw what up in that game though. But other than that, it might be a nice little platformer for you to go through and play though. Next up, we had the Fire Emblem Engage Expansion Pass DLC, which, as of the time that y'all watching this right now, the Wave 2 should already be out. So you actually have access to be able to use emblems such as emblems such as Rom and Crom, as well as you got one representation from one from Fire Emblem Heroes. You have Hector, Soren coming back from like Path of Radiance, as well as Camellia from Fates. So honestly, some really cool stuff. Kind of hate how, I guess, now they dropped that out and I'm technically done with the game right now though. I don't know, I might pick it up from time to time just to kind of knock out their paralogs, just to try to unlock them and see what kind of challenges they have on their maps or whatnot though. So that's pretty cool though. But then they also managed to showcase off a little tiny little old glimpse of what will technically be coming in terms of the story related stuff for Wave 4, which honestly I didn't think we were gonna get it. It was called something like a Fell Xenologue, and I was like, oh, okay, so it's kind of dealing more with the Fell Dragon kind of concept or whatnot though. They did showcase off like a sick black and blue dragon, which honestly, if y'all know my colors, that looks pretty sick though. But it seems like you're gonna be able to partner up with another Fell Dragon similar to another character I know. I probably shouldn't say the name in case, you know, if you hadn't gone through and played through the game yet or whatnot though. So honestly, some really nice stuff. I'll be looking forward to that DLC whenever it comes out. Hopefully the story is good. I have my little nitpicks on the baseline story though, but man, that's a discussion for another day. All right, next up on the list, we have Harmony, the Fall of Reverie, which honestly, I don't think I have too much to say on this one. The thing seemed kind of nice though. I mean, it wasn't nothing, you know, kind of the right home or nothing about like that. So I guess I'll go ahead and move over to the next one now. Next up, the big third, honestly, it might be one of the biggest third-party games on this list, at least from what I can kind of see right now, or at least one that resonated with me, that being Octopath Traveler 2, because yes, we got some, you know, some new looks and some different environments and stuff that were showcased off in the game itself though, but the biggest kick was being that they announced that, yeah, on the day of the direct, a demo was dropping out. You can actually go hands-on with it right now. And if you so happen to like the gameplay or whatnot though, that you're kind of going through and experiencing, then you can actually turn around and carry that save progression over from the demo over there to the main story. It's kind of similar to how they've been doing that with past games such as Live Alive. They did it with Triangle Strategy, and as well as they also did it with the original Octopath Traveler as well though. So honestly, some really good stuff, and I will be definitely putting my hands up on that one to try to test that one out. Next up on the list, they had We Love Katamari Reroll, which there's those Katamari fans out there though. I always feel like every couple of years it always seems like we're always getting like a new one of that one though. I know they got their fans and whatnot though, so yeah, if you're a fan of that series, I know you're desperately looking forward to that one though. So yeah, so honestly, that'll be one to kind of keep your eye out on right there. Next up is Sea of Stars. Out of all the games on this Nintendo Direct, I feel like this one spoke to me quite hard in terms of it being a indie game essentially, because I think it's made from the same people that made The Messenger. And honestly, I'm looking at this game, the RPG elements, the clean art style and whatnot though, the pixel art, I was like, man, this thing looks beautiful with the presentation and whatnot though. And then also we got the confirmation that yes, they did drop a demo for that, so you can download that right now. And I have it already here on my Switch right next to me though, so you know, maybe as soon as I'm done with recording this video right here, I might dive up in there and try that mess out though. But yeah, honestly, that's a really cool looking game. I think the game literally comes out, I think roughly around late summer. I want to say around August or whatnot though. So honestly, I mean, I'm honestly gonna have to really keep my eye out on that one though, because that one looks promising. Next up was Omega Strikers, which Omega Strikers, I was looking at that and I'm like, I feel like, you know how it is when you're playing through and you're getting some of those free to play ish kind of games. It's like how long would that really truly last? I honestly do not know. I honestly do not know how long that will like actually last with most people or whatnot though. I believe you're actually able to go ahead and pre-order that mess right now, and you'll be able to have access to playing it whenever it drops out a little later on in the springtime though. So you can look forward to that one though. So I don't know, maybe I'll get with some of the bros, try it out, see if it's actually any good or whatnot though. I don't know, it might be one of those kind of fall off pretty fast. Like Ninjala was like one of those free to play ones, looked kind of promising, but then just fell off a cliff. So I don't know. We'll see on that one though. Next up on the list, we had Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp. Yes, this one finally rose up out of the grave. Yes, we're actually going to be able to get it in our hands. And honestly, in the lead up to this direct, a lot of people were thinking that this was going to get shadow drop. We heard about news about how it might have been available now from some retailers or whatnot, though, but they didn't go with the shadow drop route. It's going to be in the month of April. So literally, it's a full delay or a full year delay from the second delay that we got, because originally it was supposed to come out late in 2021. They pushed it the spring of 2022, with it I think roughly being around April, and then it's like almost a whole year from that we're finally getting it in our hands though. So yeah, so the game is basically done. It's been done for the hottest minute though. I'm just glad that we're finally able to actually get our hands on it and play it out, because it looks kind of interesting. I may get my hands on that one. I may. It just kind of depends on what else is kind of releasing around that window frame or whatnot though. But it does look interesting. I'm glad that this game finally came out, because Way Forward over here, like, man, we've been done with this sucker for a hot minute. But yeah, so that was it on that one though. So next up on the list, we had Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, which this one I was like, okay, we know that this one's coming out here fairly soon. It's literally right around the corner or whatnot though. However, the interesting thing about it is the fact that not only was it right around the corner, they know they're adding like a couple of few extra items in terms of like some of the power-ups and stuff like that. So it's not like a direct one-to-one comparison to like the Wii version that we currently got though. But they did manage to put in a whole new mode for Kirby in this one, which I was like, I honestly wasn't really expecting it. But it actually looks kind of really cool and whatnot though. The fact that you get to go through the adventure, and you basically exploring as this one dude that basically lost all of his powers, and he had to go back through and actually recollect all your power-ups and stuff like that. I always kind of like those games where it's like you're kind of stripped of most of your powers, and then you have to come back and either do like an upgrade system, something like that. It's kind of like akin to like Metroid, whatever though, because you know with Samus and whatnot though, when she begins her journeys, usually strong at the beginning, gets stripped of her powers, come back full strong or whatnot though. So literally, I got that same kind of vibe from the Kirby Returns to Dreamland Deluxe though. So that was really nice though. So after that announcement, I felt like we were kind of getting close to near the end of the presentation. I want to say, you know, I was watching this at 4 o'clock Central Standard Time, and I was looking at it, I was like, all right, so we're at 4:33 or something like that. We got like 7-ish or so minutes. Give me my Legend Zelda and I'll be on my happy way. We got some pretty cool stuff right now. I'm pretty content right now. But then, you know, Nintendo's like, whoa, hold up here just a moment though. We got something for you. We got something for you, Megazord. I was like, wait, what? And then lo and behold, we finally get the inclusion of a couple of new systems in the Nintendo Switch Online service, that being Game Boy for the basic tier. I was like, oh, cool. I was like, thank freaking goodness we finally got the inclusion of Game Boy games coming to the Nintendo Switch Online service, and basically for the whole basic tier though, because honestly, the basic tier been kind of getting gypped here lately. Like, they haven't been getting a lot of games. So honestly, it's kind of nice for those people that don't have the expansion pass to actually get a little bit of something though. I was like, it's about time. Yeah, they're giving us games such as like Tetris, Super Mario Land 2, the 6 Golden Coins, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening is another one right there for us though. So some really nice stuff as well though. Gargoyle's Quest, that being another one, and Game & Watch Gallery 3. So not like a whole bunch, along with Alone in the Dark, The New Nightmare. Not a whole bunch of stuff, but just enough to kind of, you know, whet your appetite, kind of get the ball going though. So I was like, okay, that's pretty cool though. And then we know about some future games coming along here in the distant future as well though, which honestly will be really cool once we get those games that come out though. I'm trying to get there we go. Yeah, because we know that the Oracle games are going to come out in the future, the Pokemon trading card games out of everything. I'm like, what the heck? And then we got Kirby Tilt and Tumble. So that's some stuff that we have to look forward to here fairly soon in the future though. But that wasn't it, because they also said and then they showcase all the GBA is coming to the expansion pack owners, which honestly, if you have been watching any of my, you know, Zarcast podcasts, I called this out way over a year ago, saying that we're going to get Game Boy games on the baseline tier, Game Boy Advance in the expansion pack tier, and lo and behold, that's the way how that mess happened to play out though. I was like, my goodness. So yeah, so a decent bit of spread in terms of the Game Boy Advance games. We got Super Mario Advance 4, which is Super Mario Bros. 3, which has all those e-reader levels up in there as well, though. So you get all of that cool stuff up in there. You got WarioWare for the GBA included as well, so that was really nice. You got Kurin, which honestly was a game, after I started looking it up, it was a game that released over there in Europe, in Japan, but never came over here stateside for us over here in the United States. So that's an interesting one right there. Then you have Mario Kart Super Circuit as well, which honestly, out of all the Mario Kart games, that's like the one I have the least amount of experience with. So it'd be nice to kind of go through and play through that as well. And then you have Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, which that's an amazing game. If you hadn't tried that one out, you definitely should really go out there and try that one. That one's really cool. And then you also had The Legend of Zelda The Minish Cap. So honestly, some really good games over there representing the GBA side, because I can easily see myself sinking a little bit more time with the GBA side than the Game Boy side, but there are some good Game Boy games out there. But then in terms of the games that are going to be coming in the distant future, we know that Metroid Fusion, Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, F-Zero Maximum Velocity, oh shoot, and then also Fire Emblem, the first one that came over here stateside that managed to get localized, the one that features Lynn, Eliwood, and Hector. I'm like, heck yes, and finally some people can play some good Fire Emblem games over here though. I was like, what the actual heck? Oh, and then Golden Sun as well. I was like, oh shoot. So yeah, so honestly, some really good stuff. The cool thing about all of this was it dropped out the day of the Direct. So I actually managed to go through and play a little bit of the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance stuff. Obviously, since it's like a portable system that the games are based upon, you can actually hook up with people and play it locally with anybody else with their other Switches, or you can do it online for certain select games that support multiplayer though. So really nice stuff right there. So I was like, okay, now I can breathe. I can breathe right there. I was like, yeah, that's pretty good, Nintendo. That's pretty good. All right, now show me the Zelda and I'll be on my way. And then Nintendo's like, no. We are not done with this yet. I was like, but you showed me something great. This is something, literally in my reaction, I was still recovering from this. And then they dropped the other bombshell. That being the Metroid Prime Remaster was coming to the Switch as well. And I was like, what the actual heck? And I was like, oh shoot. And I was over here trying to contain myself. I was about to blow a gasket. I was like, oh my gosh. And it's crazy how literally we went from the rumor mill that we thought it was the trilogy, then we heard about the Prime Remaster thing. Yes, unfortunately, no word of Metroid Prime 4, but at least this can, buy people some time over. And I actually, because the crazy thing with this thing is, in terms of its release, they shadow dropped this mess. Yes, you are actually able to play this thing right now if you want to digitally, or you can wait a couple of weeks from now when the retail version actually drops out on February the 22nd though. So honestly, so that was some really nice stuff right there though. So yeah, I already went and downloaded the thing digitally because I already own the OG version on the GameCube. So I was like, you know what, let me just try this out right quick though. But honestly, I was not expecting that. That was that slap in the face moment right there. I was like, dang, Nintendo, all right, y'all actually did good this time. Y'all actually did good. Later on after that, we started to chill down just a little bit though, because we got Rain Code, which honestly, that one looks pretty interesting, made from the same people that made Danganronpa. So I was like, I still have to kind of keep my eye out on that one though, to see if that one actually turns out to be fairly good as well though. Then we had a little twist. We had Baten Kaitos 1 and 2 HD Remaster. This game was really made by people from Bandai Namco, which originally dropped out to be a GameCube exclusive. And I was like, wait a minute, because I heard a little bit of rumblings and rumors about how that game could actually potentially come to the Nintendo Switch. It was either that, maybe Kid Icarus Uprising, or the Prime Remaster or something like that. It was an avenue of like a few of those little things right there, and I didn't think we are gonna get like a couple of those things come out though. So honestly, that was a big shocking surprise. I had to do my little research on that one though, but that one's pretty interesting. Unfortunately, in terms of the voiceovers, it is only Japanese audio only, even though it did have an English audio in terms of his voice cast, which is kind of odd, but from everything else with the quality of life stuff, hopefully everything else holds up for that game. So that is one I have to kind of keep my eye out on. Next up on the list, we managed to have Fantasy Life, The Girl Who Steals Time, which honestly, I don't think I could say too much on it though, but hey, if that happened to catch your eye, hey, there's news for you. Then we got a little bit of a tease for Professor Layton in the New World of Steam, which honestly, it was just a straight teaser trailer. So if you happen to like the Layton games, hey, just know that there's another game in the works though, and who knows when we might get it though, but it might be fairly soon. Who knows? Then next up, we go back to the realm of DLC. We get hit with the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass DLC, and I was like, what the actual heck? I was like, wait a minute now. I was like, hold up. I was like, that is some good mess right there. That is some good mess. I was like, oh shoot. I was like, man, because even though they only showed us like technically one trailer, not one trailer, one course. I was like, oh, okay, that's nice. But the one they chose was one from like Yoshi Island. I don't know, that just resonated with me. Me going through and playing Yoshi Island on the Super Nintendo. I was like, man, that course just looked really good. They also mentioned that how they're gonna start to add characters to the game as well. So they had Birdo included up in here. I was like, holy freaking shit! I was like, all right, we're going places now. We're going places. So I was like, all right, that's pretty cool though. They saying that DLC should drop in the spring. I imagine it's going to be probably in the month of March at some point. Then next after that, then we have the sizzle reel where it kind of just showcases off a bunch of stuff like the reshow of Blanc, Minecraft Legends, Mega Man Battle Network's probably the biggest one out of these batch that's going to be coming out here fairly soon. Have a Nice Dev, a baseball Power Bros game or whatnot though. The Disney Dreamlight Valley, which I feel like that's been mentioned in like the past 3 directs. I don't know. And then obviously like the Tales of Symphonia remastered stuff like that. So stuff that's right around the corner that's almost just about here. Then last but certainly not least, the game that everybody and their mama wanted to know about, that being The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. We finally managed to get a trailer for that one, and we do know that release is coming up here soon within the month of May. And honestly, I was like, from the stuff we saw in that trailer though, honestly it looks really good and really promising. I mean, I feel like people are probably going to do their analysis videos on this to see, you know, whether or not what kind of information they can kind of pick off or whatnot though. You do kind of notice looking through the trailer that how like you have like different types of creatures and whatnot though. I don't know how Ganon managed to kind of come back or whatnot though, but it looked like he already reinfested the whole entire world again, even though we just managed to save this thing over there in Breath of the Wild. I was like, what the actual heck though? But yeah, honestly, the game looks really fluid, looks really nice and stuff. It seems like they actually changed some topography that was there on the, you know, the regular ground floor, because that's the one thing I've been kind of questioning with this game is how much stuff could they actually manage to change on the surface level. Because we know they're adding elements with the sky. Maybe I was thinking maybe they'll do something in the underground. Don't know about that quite yet though. But yeah, so honestly, some really good stuff that was kind of showcased off in that trailer though. And yeah, that was pretty much it in terms of most of the stuff that was kind of covered off into that trailer now. But then they lo and behold happened to say that yes, actually we figured about this after the fact, after the direct was done though, but yes, this game is actually going to retail for $70, which honestly that's a whole nother discussion for another time in another video or whatnot though. But you know, I feel like they could kind of get away with this game a little bit. I think the size of this game is actually technically a little bit bigger than Breath of the Wild, might be bigger than a 16 gigabyte cartridge. So maybe that's some of the reasons why that this game might be costing a little bit extra though. But there also is going to be a limited edition for this game though. And as of the time of this recording, there was a listing that already went up on Best Buy and I already missed it. And there's an amiibo. I got the amiibo already. The limited edition, I'm probably going to have to snag it from a different retailer though, because I did manage to miss that first drop from Best Buy. Still got my phone right next to me trying to figure out all that mess though. But yeah, that game can't come soon enough when it finally drops on May the 12th. So yeah, that's basically gonna do it in terms of all of the stuff that we managed to get within this Nintendo Direct. It was pretty meaty and whatnot though. I have to say some of those announcements were pretty fire if I had to do say so myself, because honestly, shoot, that was a lot of stuff. And they hit us with so many shadow drops, so many demos, so many games that are already out right now, new expansions on the online services and stuff like that, limited editions and everything else in between. I was like, that was a lot of stuff to go through and digest right now though. But man, oh man, I got a lot of stuff to play. I got a lot of stuff to play right now though. But yeah, I think that's pretty much going to do it in terms of this video though. So if you really like it, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on all things video game related I feel like talking about and discussing for the foreseeable future though. So remember y'all, until our video I make next, see y'all.